As our story continues, we give you a forewarning, as unfortunately, the Pixie Audio curse continues. I assure you, we are consulting with only the best wizards and alchemists to find a cure. When we last left off, the party had made it back to town to rest. In the morning, they were each visited by Martha. She bestowed gifts and wisdom that maybe not all of them deserved. At breakfast, they made a plan to infiltrate the Cragmaw Castle, with the reluctant help of the goblin Lem. Later, they met with Sildar to discuss their findings at the Red Brand hideout, with hopes to recruit him for the trek to the castle. Naturally, not all went as planned, as they refused to join the party. And so we find them, just outside the Townmaster Hall, trying to figure out what to do.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Awful Good. I'm your adorable DM, Lynn Andrews, and tonight we're playing with Mary.
Hi, I'm Mary, and I am playing Laura, and she is a half-elf level 3 druid.
And I am Rob. I'm playing Yorke, a level 3 half-elf bard.
I'm Jackson. I'm playing Curtis, a level 3 fighter and former slave.
And I'm Brian, and I'm playing Bexkull Crush, a level 2 fighter and level 1 barbarian, half-orc.
Woo! And that is our group. Unfortunately, Dave could not make it tonight, so we'll go with it. I don't know what I was going to say. Anyway.
We'll persevere in the face of adversity.
Thank you. Persevere was the word I was looking for.
I majored in English.
Your entire personality makes so much more sense now.
Oh my gosh. It's probably about mid-afternoon right now. And in the process of you guys wandering around, Beck, you notice that Jaw's not around.
Anybody seen Jaw? No?
No. I've not. No.
Yorke, you would have seen him go off in the direction of a blonde elf.
Haven't seen him anywhere at all. Hide nor hair. Just can't be accounted for.
All right, then. Well, we'll just have to deal with it. He's always been a little bit rambunctious, so...
Just so. As the best of us are.
So Martha had gone off with the wagon to go get things, and had made plans with you guys to meet back at the tavern when you guys were done with your various business.
Okay.
All right, so let's go to the tavern so we can meet Martha about our various business.
Sounds great.
No objections here.
We walk to the tavern.
So you guys go to the tavern, and you see Martha's wagon is outside, and it seems to be packed with various provisions and whatnot. I'm great with descriptions tonight.
Martha, are you there? Where are you? Martha!
Are you asking this outside?
Yes. I'm stumbling around, gazing off into the distance as I do so. Feeling around with my hands.
You hear footsteps come out the door, and a chuckling, and she goes, "Oh, Yorke.
Did you pack any fig Newtons? Tell me you did. For the love of all of the gods.
Didn't I tell you that those were going to kill you one day?"
Out with it, woman. Where are they?
I think you have a problem, Yorke. She pats you on the shoulder and heads back to the rest of the crew.
Shows her I've got a lot of problems.
I was able to get sell the stuff and get us a good amount of provisions and whatnot. Leanne was really glad to have the stuff that looks like it'll be helpful for the town. There's some people around here who don't have the means to protect themselves. And I also had a good talk with our goblin friend. And you see Lem start to walk out. She goes, "I'll help you fight. And she's looking down as she says it.
You are welcome.
Thanks, Lem. You're always a charmer.
She's just ignoring you and just looking down. Like, she's leaned up against the building and just looking down, just like, God dang it, what am I getting myself into? Martha goes, so, it's about, from my guess, about a 2 days trip from here. We'll have to camp a couple nights. We could either leave tonight, or it might be better if we start out in the morning. I mean, either way, we're still going to have to be camping.
I got no connections to the town. If anybody has anything they need to do, though.
She looks around, she goes, I take it Jal got his message?
What message?
He had some, it was an elf, Leanna, I think, she was looking for him. I don't see him among you guys. Is that where he went?
Truthfully, we don't know. He did not tell us anything.
Oh, that's not surprising. So how'd your talk with Sildar go?
Well enough.
Is he coming along with us?
Not at the moment.
She lets out a long sigh. Well, we'll make do.
That's all we can do.
So what would you guys like to do? Would you guys like to stay the night, one more night, or would you guys want... It's about, like, mid-afternoon, so, I mean, you guys could camp in the middle of the night. It's up to you guys what you want to do.
Do we have enough people to take the castle?
Sure.
You guys?
Sure.
Martha looks around and she goes, well, I've talked with Lem, and I think if we're careful and we don't just go running in there and we work together and whatnot, I think we could probably do okay. I mean, we might not be able to get in there, but we could at least see what's going on.
Yep. Everyone stay on your toes. Be careful not to be seen insofar as it's possible. And remember that discretion is the better part of valor.
I couldn't have put it any better myself.
Martha walks over to the wagon and she rummages in and she pulls out a red cloak. And she goes, now, those of you who went into that hideout, do you guys still have your cloaks you took off of the red brands?
Let me see.
Whatever would I want with a horrid thing?
Check.
Yes,
Got it.
I still have mine.
Okay. So she tosses it to you, Yorke. She goes, don't worry, I cleaned it up, darling.
If you could call that clean.
Beggars can't be choosers when they want to be sneaky.
Besides, it looks pretty clean to me.
He hands it over to Curtis. You can have mine. I think I'll make do.
Martha gives you a glare.
Yorke holds up his hands. I can take care of myself, darling. You know me.
Did I hand the cloak to the young man? No.
I hand the cloak back to Yorke. You know, it's cleaner than mine.
Yorke rolls his eyes and just kind of tucks it into his pack, trying to touch it as little as possible with his hand.
Martha gives you like a look of like, I better stay there.
Yorke just kind of shrugs.
From my understanding, the Red Brands have been working with these goblins, and Lem agrees with that, and there's a possibility that these cloaks might help us. If anything, we could possibly use them to pass ourselves off. Hopefully we won't have to do that, but it's always good to have a couple different plans.
They'll be very convinced by me in a red cloak.
So she looks at. Oh, go ahead.
I just gonna say, I think we're ready to go. Does anybody want a drink for the road?
Sounds good to me.
Road brew.
Martha goes, well, I won't be having any right now, but we could definitely have a toast. So she walks back into the inn.
I'll follow.
Okay. Everyone follows in?
Sure.
I'm assuming? Okay. Tilden's already got tankards lined up for you guys and some like packs with some like traveling food. So some hard sausages and cheese and stuff like that. Enough to tide you all over for a couple days travel.
Does he have any of the bread?
Yes, there's bread.
The good bread?
It's a harder brown bread actually. It's not quite the fluffy white, really, really delicious stuff just because of that's not something that would keep very well.
The exigencies.
So Martha goes, well, drink up and hopefully we won't die.
To not dying.
Yay.
Here's to not dying.
She holds up a water skin to not dying.
Clink.
Clink, clink,
Chink,
clink.
cheers.
Clink.
Chink, chink,
Clink,
chink.
clink, clink, clink.
Okay. So you guys are setting off.
Let's go kill some goblins. I mean, the bad ones. Sorry, Lem.
Lem just is like ignoring you. So
Let's at least go save our person. How about that? That's better.
Any idea how messy killing is?
Yes.
Make sure you do it away from yourself, or else it gets all over you. It's horrible. Chickens get everywhere.
Yep.
Chickens everywhere.
is anyone going to sit in the front with Martha in the wagon?
Well,
Or you-
it makes a lot more sense for you to sit up there, probably.
Yeah, but he might also want to get some distance from Martha right now.
Fair enough. I would sit up. Yeah, Beck would
Yeah.
definitely sit up there with
Okay.
her.
Okay. Is everyone else going to be in the back in the wagon, or is anyone going to just be walking with the wagon?
I'll be
I'll
in the back
get
of
in the back of the wagon.
Okay.
Save my feet.
Beck, you're in the front of the wagon, and sitting between you and Martha is Lem.
Of course she is.
And I mean,
Just can't get away from her.
she's giving kind of the cold shoulder. She's occasionally talking to Martha in Goblin. And it doesn't, I mean, they don't seem to be having anything like of a serious conversation. There's occasional chuckles and whatnot, so.
What's the topic?
Yeah, what are you ladies talking about?
Martha's mainly just like, wait, so who all speaks Goblin?
Yep.
For those who can speak Goblin, like, I mean, they're not talking very loudly, but they're not, like, whispering and stuff. Essentially, it's more just like Lem's just kind of complaining that she's coming along and that she's got better things to do than to follow these idiots around. And Martha's correcting her in a manner of authority, and Lem's actually listening, which is a little bit different for you guys because Lem hasn't really answered to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, which only those who've been around Lem the most would know that. Curtis, you wouldn't know that so much since you've only had limited interactions with her.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so you guys take off and you guys pull off through, and you guys kind of go out of the town. For those who came into town when you guys were bringing the goods in, you come out of town the same way up the hill, and it's a really nice view, and it's a lovely afternoon. There's a slight breeze going through. But soon, Martha actually takes the wagon kind of off trail, and so it goes a little bit slower just because, you guys are kind of not on an actual trail. It's kind of grass and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys are headed towards a wooded area, which the locals have mentioned to you guys a couple times is called the Thicket Woods. But you guys are not quite there yet. So you guys travel for a couple of hours.
As we're going off road, I'm gonna put on my shirt and chainmail.
Okay. As you guys go off road, you guys travel a couple hours. It's not the most comfortable ride, and with how fast the wagon is going, some of you may find that you actually prefer to walk. That's completely up to you of how much you want to be in a jostled wagon. But
I'll start walking.
But for the most part, it's a pleasant, nice day. The birds are out, and you guys see occasionally deer prance by and stuff. And it gets to be about nighttime, and you guys reach the woods. I think. Let me make sure real quick. Gotta check my grid. Yeah, so you guys reach. You're not quite to the woods, but you're almost there. But you get to an area where you have a nice canopy of trees, and you find a pretty decent spot to probably camp for the night. And so you guys all prepare your camp and whatnot, and Martha cooks you guys a nice meal with some stew and whatnot. You guys are all sitting around the campfire, eating your food.
So, Lem, have you been to this castle before?
She's eating, and she goes, I've been twice.
What can we expect?
She's she's had this bite of food, she was just about to take a bite when you were talking to her, and she sighs for a minute, and she takes a bite. She sets her bowl down. She goes, well, it depends. Goblins, obviously, and quite a few bugbears. It depends if Grohl sent out a war party or not. He likes to send people out to go hunting for unsuspecting travelers, as you guys are well aware of.
Yeah.
I suspect at this point that he's probably set out a party to check out the cave, and why none of us have reported. So that would lessen the amount of people there, but I'm not sure.
Are there any?
It's an old building.
Are there any
castle.
secret ways in?
There's a couple, but I'm not entirely sure. I normally came through the front. But it's a very old castle, and there's got to be at least one other way in there besides the front. That would be rather not smart to not have an escape route.
True. Okay.
Do we need to have one of us watch guard overnight, or are we far enough away that we think we're okay?
You guys should definitely take turns having watch.
Okay, yeah, while we're on watch, by the way, Yorke pulls out a red-painted ball bearing and throws it out near our tent.
Okay.
And just kind of leaves it there, lying next to the tent.
Okay. How, right next to the tent or a ways out?
Do we have a visual representation of where we are?
No.
Otherwise,
It's
just next to the
essentially, you guys it's a pretty open area. You guys can see the lovely stars, and it's mainly grass, but you guys just happen to find kind of an encampment of 4 trees.
Right.
And they're tall, but, so they give you enough shelter, to be able to set up a camp, but they're not gonna, provide you, a full amount of cover.
I guess if anything, I would be more towards the path away from us.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's any kind of choke point or anything up there, it'll be there, but otherwise just...
Okay.
Yeah.
So who's taking the first watch?
Well,
or is there any other conversations that you guys
before we
want
start
to have?
taking watches, I approach Yorke's shortly after he throws out the ball bearing and ask him, so what's that about?
Yorke kind of looks over at Curtis with kind of a unreadable look for a moment, and then he hands him an orange barbarian and says, "See if you can figure this one out, and I'll tell you about that one."
So
this is the orange one.
you've painted all of them various colors.
Yes. I'm hoping that they'll be useful to me.
How many more do you have?
A number of different
May I
colors.
see them?
You don't want to see some of them. I'll tell you that right now.
You like your secrets, don't you?
I think it's important to have an ace in the hole or two.
Martha
Well,
goes,
if
"Yep, that's
this,
right."
If this or that, I point to the red one and the orange one, or those, gesture at his person, wherever I think they might be, will confer some tactical advantage on us. It might be useful if you'd actually tell us what, but you don't have to divulge anything that you don't want to. I'll just leave you with that thought.
Yorke says, I'll think on it and discuss with you a little further if I have any more ideas about it. In the meantime, and he holds up his hands for the orange ball bearing.
I flip it back to him.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
That comes out of the ball as it lands in my hand.
What? Huh. Okay.
You hold on to it, and I toss it back to him.
Whoa! And
What is going on, you guys?
Curtis,
I like your style.
Thanks.
Curtis, you look at the ball. It has a little mouth on it.
Only while it's talking.
Only while it's talking.
I have other sentiments about your style.
So it's in your hand now, and it doesn't have the mouth. But you noticed as it was coming towards you, you saw something that looked like a mouth on it.
Okay, I pocket the ball bearing. I pull it out of my pocket and stick it in a pouch. There we go.
I wasn't sure if that's the type of woa that you wanted it to do.
Yeah, I think it turned out perfectly.
Is there any other?
I say, had any company?
Nope. You hear? You guys all hear this voice.
Bearing?
You guys all hear a voice that sounds like it's coming from like over near one of the tents or whatnot. But you don't see anyone there.
Well, looks like we're good, guys.
Okay.
Is going on?
Are we all just okay with this? What's happening?
I happen to have a number of balls that can help us.
You hear?
It's an early warning system.
You hear
Yes,
Martha
the red ones are, yes. The red ones take me 22 minutes to make. I can make a few more if you think it would be helpful.
Wait, did you set off one of the red ones?
The red one is the one that...
Okay, yeah. No, I was looking at the other one.
How many uses do they have?
Unlimited.
Oh, nice. Those do sound like they would be rather helpful.
Okay, well, I'll just sink in another 22 minutes and make another one, I guess.
I mean, it's late evening at this point, or well, no, it's pretty much at nighttime at this point. But so Martha's like just laughing. You can tell that she's used to this. But she's not giving anything away. She goes, Yorke, you can't be that mean with them. Not on the first try.
I'll just say, if you see the green ones, just, prepare yourself and try to get away as fast as you can.
Okay.
You're gonna kill us all, aren't you?
Probably not.
Martha goes, you better not.
I think that's a no. ladies and gentlemen.
I heard about your shenanigans.
Which ones? I mean, what?
Your
Starting to understand why we found you covered in gore and surrounded by chickens.
That was an accident. Mostly.
I mean, it worked out. You
He was
gotta.
cheating anyway. I mean, so was I, but he wasn't cheating as well as I was, and this is not the discussion we're having right now.
Is there any other business to take care of before you guys settle down for the night?
I don't think so.
No. Me and Luna will take the first watch.
Okay. Does someone have music playing in the... Oh, no, it was Rob. I'll just blame
All
Rob
right.
for everything.
My bad.
Okay, so everyone else is going to sleep. Martha's going to stay up with you, Flora.
Okay.
So she finds a good place for you guys to be kind of keeping watch and keeping an eye out. And so, how are you doing?
I'm a little freaked out by this Yorke guy, I'm not gonna lie.
He has his quirks. You get used to them. He's relatively harmless, unless you get on his bad side, then apparently you end up in a room full of gore and chickens.
Well, that is not, I hope that doesn't happen in the castle. And I'm feeling like this journey has taken a lot of twists and turns that I was not expecting.
Well, that's part of adventuring. I mean, if adventuring went the way that we wanted it to go, it would be pretty boring.
You're right, Martha. I've been by myself for so long that having to be with this group and make these decisions together, and it's just a lot to get used to.
It's understandable. It's always hard when you're on your own, and then you have to rely on other people when you've been so used to relying on your own. And it can be difficult if they do things that you don't agree with or don't want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that's how we learn from things. We learn to see how other people act, and sometimes that can help us later on and keep us alert to other things.
You're
You
so
see-
wise.
She laughs. She goes, I just know how to BS really well. And she turns her head quickly for a second. She gives you the silent thing. Never mind. Wasn't anything.
Maybe we should send Luna to check that out.
That's fine if you want. I think we're okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna send Luna to check that out anyway.
Okay. You can roll a perception check for Luna.
Okay.
Do wisdom. Sorry, do a wisdom roll. Just click your wisdom. Okay. Luna goes out and wanders around, and she comes back to you. Doesn't seem to notice anything.
Okay.
So your guys' watch goes without any issues. So who's the second watch?
I could do it.
Okay, so Beck.
And yeah, I guess I will too.
Okay, so Beck and Yorke, you guys are up.
Cool. And
Martha gives you a pat. She goes, "Be nice."
Always.
Not always. Just, be gentle.
Fine. I've got two of the guard barbarians have been up, right? Since I built the other one earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just call out, had company?
Nope.
Cool. So
These things are handy. I like these things.
it's nice to know that one's own perceptions haven't completely failed one. So, Beck, do you want a future in show business?
No, I don't. I
That's an extremely good thing.
I
No offense.
no, that's totally okay. The stage is not where I belong.
Have you thought about getting into the food industry, perhaps?
Actually, as a matter of fact, well, yeah, kinda.
What kind of food are you going to make? Tell me you'll give it to me for free, forever, and that it'll be wonderful.
Well,
Don't be a bad cook.
I hope.
You have to tell me if you're a bad cook.
I hope not. I'm really trying to, I've been working on it on the side. I plan on making sandwiches. A follower of Tanada, and the whole shark sandwich thing. It just speaks to me. I really hope to make a food cart.
You need to have some paninis made with chocobo prime rib. That's...
It does sound pretty good.
Beck, you have no idea what a chocobo is.
Ever since McDandy stopped making them, I'm just, I needed that chocobo rib.
with the Szechuan sauce.
Yeah.
I've never actually heard of that, but it sounds like something. I mean, sandwiches that are pressed are delicious. It would pretty much fit exactly with what I'm going for. I just haven't raised enough money yet to buy my cart.
I see. So you need to maybe convince some wealthy patrons to invest in you, to perhaps give you a small business loan that might facilitate your taking hold of the future, so to speak.
Yeah, that would be great. Patreon.com.
I'll let you know if I hear about anybody like that.
This sounds great. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. I'm just ready to kind of be done with the whole crushing people.
It's very messy.
It is very messy.
But also lucrative.
I'm very good at it, though.
I prefer to do such things from a distance with sound waves to prevent getting one's hands messy.
That's fair. I like to use this, and I pat my big maw.
Different strokes.
So as you guys are talking, you all of a sudden hear the crack of like a twig.
Do we roll perception or anything, or?
No. You guys hear this crack, you hear another crack, and then something shoots out of kind of where, like, this deep grass area, and it's a deer.
Oof. Well, I need to reset these. Head company?
Nope.
Shouldn't one of them have said yep?
It was in a different area.
Oh, okay. Then I wouldn't have needed to reset it anyway.
No, you're fine.
I guess we'll have to put more of these out next time.
22 minutes each. It's so boring to make, but they're so useful.
They're very useful, but only if they're in the right spot, I guess.
I need to look up what the range was on that real quick.
30 feet.
Yeah, no.
Cool.
Huh.
So your guys' watch goes no problem. So who takes the last watch?
Guess that's me.
Lem's gonna take it with you.
Okay.
So she doesn't even talk to you. She just she looks around and she decides to climb up one of the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just sitting. She decides to sit in one of the trees and has a crossbow at the ready.
Okay. I, pace around the campsite periodically.
Mm-hmm.
Look up at Lem every now and then. Just keep my eyes open, keep myself moving.
One thing you do notice, Curtis, is that this guy is gorgeous. There's so many stars in the sky, and you just have this lovely view and a nice cool breeze. It's not too cold. it's just nice being in such an open area.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I take a moment to sit down, lean myself against Lim's tree, look up at the sky, sigh, stand back up and walk around again.
You hear, as you get up to walk around, you hear a voice from Lim. She goes, "It's nice, isn't it?"
I don't know how to handle it.
What do you mean?
I mean, I take another look around just to make sure that there's nothing sneaking up on us, then turn my attention back to Lim. Yeah, I've seen so many birds and deer things today, and for the first time in my life, I'm like them, you know?
What do you mean by them?
I don't have to be here. They can go wherever they want, and so can I. I mean, you don't have to be here either. And I appreciate that.
She goes, yes and no, and she kind of starts, making her way down the tree. She goes, in a way I have a choice, and in a way I don't. But
well, that's fair. You've got a better vantage point up there. You don't have to sacrifice your tactical position or anything.
We're good. I know if there's going to be something coming nearby.
Yeah, good. Yeah, but I shrug.
She goes, it's okay.
Yeah.
We don't always have to talk about things. Some people like to talk more than they should. Some people like to fill the space with words. But I think people who choose their words are underappreciated. And she starts climbing back up the tree.
It's hard to get a handle on, I say.
She goes, you'll get the hang of it. And she goes back to kind of her position of keeping an eye out.
I look back up at her. I think I've got the hang of it. Yeah, just let me know if you see anything.
She nods. She goes, will do.
And back to watch.
Your guys' watch goes no issues. So it's now the morning. Most of you are woken up by the smell of something else cooking. Martha appears to have something cooking over the fire. And she's like, okay, whoever isn't awake, wake up now. And she kind of looks over at Yorke and she kind of gives a nudge.
How was my cue?
Time to rise and shine, darling. And she goes back and she, portions out things for everyone. And it appears to be maybe like a rabbit or, I don't know, something. But it tastes good. And you guys pack up your camp. And Yorke, I'm assuming you're retrieving your friends.
After checking to see if they need to be reset, yes.
Okay.
Gotta go grab your balls. That's what
only two.
That's what Lynn was avoiding saying so desperately.
Oh no, I was already making all the jokes with him when he was talking with me about this, so I just already got it out of my system.
That's what you do now.
Yeah, I know.
There are so many balls to come.
Oh no.
We're adults here.
You think I don't know about that.
So you guys all pack up and get back into the wagon, unless there's those of you who are walking, and you guys start making your way further north.
That should be the title of the
I'm
episode.
walking.
You're walking this time?
Yeah.
Luna's been going around and running around. She's enjoying having the open space and stuff, and occasionally you see her trying to like chase a butterfly and catch it and whatnot.
Cool.
She's very much enjoying herself, and she's starting to seem a bit more healthy than she was when you guys found her in the cave.
Good.
Yorke, you have been requested to sit in the front with Martha.
Yorke starts to act like he's going to say something, but seems to be kind of quiet today.
And Lem is in the back of the wagon. Assuming back here in the wagon too.
I'm walking today.
You're walking?
Yep.
Okay, so Lem's the only one in the wagon then. The rest of you guys are walking and whatnot. And again, it's easier. You guys are starting to get into the woods are getting closer, and at one point Martha decides that you guys are gonna need to find a spot to kind of rest the wagon, but she's still looking out for that. So she ends up having a conversation with Yorke.
Yes.
Now, you don't have to act like someone soured your milk.
Well, I know I don't have to, but I like to.
You're just mad because I showed you what in front of the whole group.
Well, do you always have to do that?
I don't, but I made a simple request and you decided to act like a child about it.
How else am I going to act? It's me.
That's very true, but there are times where we maybe need to act a bit older than we are.
That doesn't even make any logical sense, but I'll give it a try.
Thank you. You're not in trouble with me.
But that seems I'm not trying hard enough then.
She goes, oh, well, the day's not over yet.
Just so.
Just keep... I didn't say you have to wear the filthy rag yet, and I did clean it for you. I know how particular you are. Just keep it on your persons.
My dear, you know that I possess the power of invisibility.
And even sometimes that fails us.
Until such time, I would prefer not to wear the filthy rag.
I didn't say you have to wear it right now. I'm just saying keep it on you. It could be handy.
Fine.
Think of it as a costume. Oh, do you really want to go there?
It's a contingency plan.
Yorke, she looks at you. She gives you a glare at the mom comment.
He cringes away.
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
We all know who the older one is here, dear.
I mean, are we talking about spiritually or...
She laughs at that. She goes, just think of it as a costume for one of your most daring performances. Or at the very least, it's fabric. It could have many other uses.
That is true.
She gives you a pat on the leg, and she goes, well, I think we found our spot. You guys come to this area where it's pretty much, you guys are now in the forest, but there's like a nice, just kind of like an alcove of different trees and whatnot. And there's a couple fallen trees around. And she settles the wagon and gets the horses kind of set up. And she pulls out a sword and starts or a hatchet, starts hacking at some of the branches of the fallen trees to start kind of putting over the wagon. And starts doing various things to prepare the area. And she goes, I think this is where we should camp tonight, and we should be able to make it to the castle on foot. And then she gives a look at Lem. And Lem nods in agreement. And so she prepares getting all the stuff ready and setting up kind of a camp for you guys. It's about mid-afternoon. You guys woke up pretty early. So, I mean, there's still a lot of daylight. Or not daylight, but, still a bit more time. Like, you guys aren't needing to go to bed right away or anything like that.
So, how much longer is this walk?
Do you ask Martha that?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, Lem, what do you think? And Lem goes, I've got a couple hours on foot. I mean, we could go and camp closer, but if we camp closer, then that gives us the I forgot her accent. If we camp closer, then there's always the possibility that we could be discovered, Whereas we camp out here, or, we could try to reach the castle and see what's going on. We would have to travel back in the woods at night, though, and that's not always the best idea.
What is the best time frame that we should look to attack or infiltrate?
Well, I don't know about attacking. I know that we should check things out. And that can be done at any time. If we go during the day, then we'll be able to see what patrols and whatnot they have, if they have any, and get a general idea. There's various arrow slits along the castle. We might be able to check things out, or we can at least, sneak around and try to find the secret passage.
Would they actually know that you are not a goblin non grata in Castle Grand, or whatever it's called?
Castle Grill, and she says, Cragmaw Castle. She goes,
That's
there are, as you would know yourself as a bard, there are different ways to do things to deceive. And all of a sudden she goes, there are different ways to talk. And she talks like Ted.
Oh my god, it's Ted.
No, it's not Ted.
Beck looks around
Sorry
like
for
Ted?
that confusion.
Well, it's weird.
Yeah,
Ted.
so Beck does that, and she looks at you, Yorke, she goes, as you can see, there are different ways to behave.
An excellent performance.
Why, thank you. And she doesn't even say it like in a nice way. She's just like, yeah, whatever, I know what I'm doing. And so she goes, there's ways, we have multiple options for how we can go in or check things out.
We should move in a stealthy way for sure. I can make one person invisible for an hour. That could help.
I also have a pass without a trace for... Nope, never mind.
You don't?
No, I mean, I have it, but I'm trying to understand how it works. Oh, up to an hour. Yeah, up to an hour.
And I believe that gives you like an additional...
It says for the duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you has a plus 10 bonus to dexterity checks and can't be tracked except by magical means.
So essentially when you guys do your stealth checks, then you just add a plus 10 to your whatever your stealth check is.
Nice.
So it's very, very handy.
You're welcome.
Now, is that a cantrip or a spell slot?
It is a spell.
Okay. So that is something to take into account.
Okay.
So Martha, finishes whatever she was working on, and she goes, we could probably, she looks at the time, she goes, we probably have some time to at least, possibly go on ahead and check things out. Or we can start fresh tomorrow.
Do like the idea of bringing the fight to them instead of waiting for them to come to us.
Well, hopefully they're not coming to us.
I'm not averse to pressing on a little further today and investigating the environs.
Okay.
I agree.
And she stopped. She was working on something. She stopped. She goes, well then, I guess we can press ahead. Lem, I'm hoping you didn't take us the way that there would be more foot traffic. She goes, do I look like an idiot to you? And Martha shrugs. And so she goes, well, we can, maybe we can find ourselves a closer, better camping spot.
I hand the orange ball bearing back to Yorke. As useful as this seems, I say, as we're getting closer to our target, it's not too wise for me to have something on my person that I'm not familiar with and that might compromise my position. I'm sure you understand.
Only if you move over 5 miles an hour, but point taken. Yorke takes it back.
Okay. You didn't throw it, I'm assuming.
No, I handed it to him.
Okay. Whoa, no. Okay, so is there anything that you guys is anyone passing any spells or anything right now, or are you guys just gonna keep going on ahead?
They said it was a couple hours away, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Don't cast any hour-long spells then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we close enough that we should roll stealth though? Like,
I mean, you can
or...
roll stealth if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. I got a 22.
Dang.
Don't forget to read out your rolls. No one can see this.
I rolled a 4.
I rolled a
Stomp,
13.
stomp, stomp, stomp.
The druid who should be, more knowledgeable of how to be around in forest and whatnot is this isn't a forest she's been in before, and so there's a lot of step, crack, step, and getting. At one point, Laura, you get kind of tangled in some shrubbery, and Luna kind of helps you out of it, and
A shrubbery?
There's a darkness in these woods.
Martha puts a hand on his shoulder. She's like, "You need to be a little more gentle, darling." And let's see what Martha gets on stealth. Yeah. So you guys press on ahead. You guys don't come across anything dangerous or anything. I mean, you see some wildlife here and there. At one point, you think you might have heard some goblins or something, but it turns out not to really be anything. And you guys haven't reached the castle, but Lem stops you guys at one point, and she recognizes where she's at, and so she gives you guys the silent thing, because not all of you guys have been silent, and she has followed you guys, and she leads you to an area where there's kind of like a slight stream, and you guys follow it. Actually, like, you kind of guys like double back a little bit away from where you guys were at, and you follow it, and it kind of bends at one point, and there's kind of like a nice like outcropping near where the stream is, that's about like 50 feet from the stream, and she takes you there, and it's pretty well covered as far as like, shrubs and greenery and trees and fauna and all that stuff. And she says in a quiet voice, she goes, "This should be a good place to stay for the night." And I mean, at this point, it's been a couple hours, and you can see, like, kind of off in the distance, a little bit of smoke, like, rising up above, and you suspect that that's where the castle is.
About how much farther is it? Is it worth scouting?
You guys can go in. You guys can try to go and scout it a little bit.
I don't know. That sounds helpful to me. What do you guys think?
It's already past nightfall, right?
It's about nighttime at this point, almost. Like, it's dusk.
Mm-hmm. I guess maybe we should try first thing in the morning, or
Okay.
what do you guys think?
I'm inclined to stay here, but that's just me personally. If someone else wants to go out and scout ahead, I can see the advantage of doing so, but we need to make plans for them to. Has the sun set yet? I forget.
Pretty much. I mean, Yorke, not Yorke. This is gonna. I keep saying Yorke. Lem. She goes. The reason why I say daylight might be well is that we goblins have night vision. We can see in the dark, and I don't know if all of you can see in the dark. And she looks at Martha and she looks at Curtis.
I nod.
She looks quizzically at Beck. And she's like, I will assure you that the castle is not well lit.
I also
In that
can see in
case,
the dark.
if anyone wants to scout out the area, do so, but do so expeditiously and be back before it's completely dark. Sound
Also,
good?
I can give someone an hour of invisibility. So I want to do that.
I mean, if it's in the best interest of the group to just wait until the morning, then that makes sense too.
Lem and Martha kind of talk a little bit in Goblin, which for those who speak Goblin, Lem is inquiring with Martha if Martha would like her to. I'm not worried about it with you guys. If it really needs to be secret, I'll message people. Lem's inquiring with Martha if maybe like she should go check things out, or if her and one other person could go check things out, because at the very least she's a goblin and it would be a little bit less suspicious than someone else. And Martha's going, it's up to the group. I'm not going to make a decision for them. So.
Beck, you're big, but are you sneaky?
Surprisingly, yes.
Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. You, under the cover of invisibility, thanks to Yorke, will go along with Lem and scout out the scene. At the first sign of trouble, or within the hour once you've gathered enough information, come right back. Got it?
Sounds fine to me. Lem, what do you think? You want to go on a field trip?
Okay.
You're not going to tie me up again, are you?
No, Lem, we've been over this. We're friends now.
You see a smirk on her face, like she's giving you crap. She goes, I suppose that would be agreeable.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay. So the rest of you guys are going to stay with the group?
Yes.
Okay. Is anyone else casting anything? Yorke, you're casting invisibility on Beck?
Yes.
And that lasts an hour?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else have anything else they want to add to things?
If no one else does, then the two of you are on your way.
Yep.
Beck and Lem.
Yeah.
Okay. As you're leaving Beck, I clap a hand on your shoulder and say, remember, if shit goes down, don't be a hero. Get back here.
Yeah, Beck remembers well. he rubs his head.
You can do
He's
this,
like,
man.
Yeah. I'll come
You gotta
back.
remember, Curtis wouldn't have known about what happened unless you told him.
No, I know, but I'm still
we told
remembering.
That guy Beck tried to be a hero.
Did I try to be a hero? That seems like a stretch.
He's kind of an idiot.
Oh, gee.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey, I trust you, I say. Go get him.
I've learned a lot of lessons, you guys. Okay. School of Hard Knocks.
Okay, guys. Okay. So you and Lem, I'm gonna move it over.
Gonna move what over? Ooh.
So you and Lem, by the time that you and Lem kind of reached the castle, it wasn't too far away, but, it was probably about an hour, or, well, no, probably about 20 minutes from where you guys are at. And where she took you, like, it was difficult trying to get through even to, like, where you guys had been. So she definitely took you to a good place. And
Make out point. Me and Lem. All you shippers out there.
Oh gosh.
Did you say all you strippers out there?
Shippers.
Shippers.
Get with the times.
Strippers too.
Get with
Both.
the times, honey.
Apparently we had. Well, our first ship was Dave was shipping Martha with everyone.
Well, that's true.
Oh, shippers. I got you. Okay.
You know, like FedEx, UPS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Martha's been shipped with, I think, everyone so far. So now we have the Lem and Beck. So Beck, go ahead and make a stealth check.
Is it like doubled or anything?
Oh wait, no. Hey Rob, what is it? Does invisibility give him advantage, or is it just like?
I would think it would give him an advantage, but let me look.
Because like you're still going to be making noise, you can't be seen.
Right.
Right. Okay, the invisible status. An invisible creature is impossible to see without the aid of magic. The creature is heavily obscured for the purposes of hiding. And sorry, I'm looking right now at the hiding definition.
I'm gonna say go ahead, Beck, roll with advantage.
Okay. I didn't do too bad on that one anyways. I rolled a 19 total in the first place, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll stick with the first one. The second one was a 12.
And Lem got an 18. So, yeah, you guys are able to, make it to the area. So you guys are coming up from the south, and you're kind of like hiding back in, still kind of in the wooded area, but there's kind of this clearing, and you see this like, it's kind of big, but it's a really, at some point this was probably a really impressive castle. But at this point, it's kind of like a crumbling mess, and not quite what you would use to say castle anymore. There used to be quite a few towers in this castle, and now a lot of them have been crumbled. There's still like a few of them. It's definitely not a place you would want to live in. So you're able to see from your perspective, you guys can see a little bit in you can see kind of like there's a pathway going up to this area, which is the one that Lem knew of. But you see this crumbling castle before you, and you can see that there's a path that leads to some area, but Lem has not motioned you to that you guys should check that out yet.
Okay.
So she whispers to you, she goes, I have only been in a few parts of this castle. I have not been in the whole thing. So I'm not entirely sure how this whole thing is laid out. Which was part of my being hesitant of helping you out, because I wasn't sure how useful I could be to you guys.
Sure, no, that totally makes sense. You have officially been here twice as many times as any of the rest of us. So you're still very valuable, so I appreciate you coming.
She says, fair enough. She goes, now there's arrow slits, and I'm not sure on which towers that they have people looking. So I recommend we try to walk the outskirts and keep an eye out for any patrols.
Sounds good. I like it.
And she looks at you, she goes, Do you have your red cloak?
Yes.
She goes, I would put that on in case we're found.
Okay. I'm still not necessarily 100% convinced that they're going to be distracted by it, but it's okay. I'll put it on.
It's better than nothing. And so you guys start kind of going around. I'm assuming you're okay with her plan of going around and kind of scoping the castle out.
Makes total sense.
So I need you to make some perception checks.
Perception.
So you guys are like, that's the direction you guys are looking at.
Yep.
But you guys are further back.
Yep.
So which way do you want to go to the east or do you want to go to the west?
Let's go to the east.
So you guys go around. So you did a perception check of 7.
Yeah. I rolled right off of the 15. Even the digital version of the dice is against me.
You guys don't see anything too much as you guys are going around. You are taking note of there are arrow slits. As you guys go around this tower right here to the first tower that you kind of see in the east. So right around there. You guys are going around. You see arrow slits, but you don't seem to see anyone that's in there.
Okay.
You don't see any like movement. So you guys start making your way. And again, you guys are still like quite a ways back. Like you're not even like right next to it.
Sounds great.
So then you guys keep going ahead. I want you to make another stealth check.
Stealth check. Oh, son of a gun. I got a 7. Oh, wait, but I have advantage?
Oh, you're invisible. Yeah.
Yay.
You're still within the...
I got a 1 that time.
So you got a 7. I mean, you still can't be seen. You're just maybe making a little bit more noise than normal. And Lem is glaring at you. And...
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Oh, where'd you go, Lem?
Lem rolled a 21. And Lem is just like... She like stops for a minute. She's like... She points at you and she goes... Gives you the quiet look. So, you guys continue up further. And that's not. You guys come around to the northeastern tower.
Okay.
So, just for your sake, you see where those little arrow things are, like right?
Yeah. Okay. Are those the
Those
arrow?
are the arrow
Okay.
slits. Yeah. So you guys pan around, and she stops for a minute, and she thinks. She goes, I think that's where King Groll stays. If my directions are correct, I think that's his tower. I'm not entirely sure, but I know it was on the further edge from the main entrance.
Okay.
And so you guys continue going around.
Okay.
Do another perception check.
Alrighty. Ooh, a 21 total.
Nice. Okay, so Lem rolled an 18 for her perception. Where's the thing I'm looking for? Oh, okay. That would be why. Okay, cool. So you guys come around the northern end of the tower and you don't see anything, and it's starting to get darker. And I forget, do you have dark vision?
Sure do.
Okay, so you're fine. And it is as like Lem said, like there's no you're not seeing any lights.
Okay.
So as you guys come around this northern end of it, you both see you actually pointed out to Lem, you see a piece of canvas that is kind of over something, and you're not like entirely sure what it is, and you point it out to her. And you can kind of tell that there's like a footpath coming out from where this canvas is.
Hey Lem, have you seen that before?
She goes, I haven't gone out that way, but I can see what it is. And so she moves up a little bit more, and she doesn't get too close to it. She gets close enough to kind of inspect, and she looks around, and she comes back out. She goes, that's an entrance. It's not the main entrance, so that's got to be one of the routes out.
Seems a little less than protected.
Yes, I'm a little bit surprised.
Well, that's definitely a good place where we could go in.
And like around this area, like there's also like this probably was an area where there was another tower, and it is there's a lot of crumbling around it, but it doesn't like it appears that how this fell, like you definitely probably have a way in.
Okay.
So Lem goes, should I check it out more, or should we just keep it as an option?
I think we should just keep it as an option. Okay. If anything were to happen, don't want to lose you, Lem.
She goes, sure. Like she doesn't quite know like how to respond to that. She goes, so you guys need to make one more stealth check.
A stealth check?
Another stealth check.
Stealth check. I got a 10 total. Oh wait, I'm still.
You have advantage.
Oh, thank
still.
God. Oh, that's even worse. Stop. All right.
Okay. You got a 10.
I'll go with the 10.
Okay, and Lem got a 19.
Good grief.
So you guys keep going around. There's more of this. You see more, arrow slits. Again, not really noticing anything. Let's see. Make one more perception check, please.
Sure. A 13.
Okay. Sorry for the pause.
Said the cat. Sorry, everyone. I'm not sorry.
So you don't see anything, but you do hear some noises, like not anything like behind you. It's coming from the northwesternmost tower.
Okay.
As you guys pass by, and Lem stops you for a second, and you just hear some growling and some sounds like maybe some punches being thrown and all this other stuff, and you take it that it's nothing's coming after you. It's all in the castle. It's muffled, but you still pass by some rubble, and Lem says in a whisper, she goes, I think that's one of the barracks, if I remember right.
Okay.
And she holds you up. She goes, we need to be careful where we're going next, because at the entrance there are goblins keeping watch, or they should be keeping watch.
Okay.
So we need to be very, very careful.
Okay. Do my best.
Yeah. So you guys do one more stealth check.
Oh God. I'd like to go back to the time when I was doing well at stealth. 15 and an 11. So.
Oh,
15.
you went back to the time when you were doing well with stealth.
Not really. Not quite. My first one was a 21. Oh. Lem, shut up.
Lem got a 10. Lem stumbles as walking around, and she stops. She waits to see if she hears anything. And
oh God.
Pause. Nothing seems to have done anything. She takes a breath, a silent breath of relief. But she looks up and she points out to you that in the two towers, so I'm gonna ping it on the map so you can see.
Ping ping.
She points out to you. We'll do it. That there.
Uh-huh.
And on the southern one.
Okay.
That there's arrow slits, and you can see just the slight movement.
Okay.
But as far as you guys haven't come across any patrols or anything. And so at this point, it's definitely at nighttime, and she goes, I think we've seen some options.
Yeah.
So,
let's head back.
Okay. So you guys head back. Make one more stealth roll.
Oh god. And one more.
At this point, oh
Is
no,
it
actually, I was
gone?
gonna say at this point,
All right.
yeah, it's definitely been an
And I
hour.
rolled a 12.
And Lem rolled an 18. Okay, so you guys, let's see. Okay, you guys make it back to camp. No issues. Lem's pride is perhaps a little wounded that she messed up one of her her spots, but you guys. So you in the camp. In the meantime, while this has been happening, camp group. Is there anything that you guys would have wanted to be happening while this was happening?
I guess I'm just making red. I'm just making red ball bearings. I guess. Well, I've made
Okay.
2 of those.
Have you been putting those around the camp?
Yeah, so there'll be a total of 4 now, and I'll just put those around.
In proximity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Martha's been working on camp. Now, she hasn't been cooking this time because she's trying not to draw attention by setting a fire. It's a little damp and colder in the woods, but fortunately for you guys, it's not that late, or it's not that late in the season. So you guys might be like slightly uncomfortable, but you're not freezing.
Okay.
So as you guys are, doing your various things to bide time, making balls and practicing spells and whatnot, you guys
Rolling
also
dice.
rolling dice. You guys,
I have dice.
I think Beck does too. You guys start hearing some movement, from the camp, or from outskirts of camp coming near you. Those in the camp.
Uh-oh.
So, and the noises they're not very loud, but they're getting closer to you.
What, I think I hear somebody. Do you guys want to hide and see if we can get a drop on them?
I look around at the campsite. Is it pretty well set up at this point?
Yeah, and at this point, Martha's like, she's got a hand on a dagger, and she's listening. She goes, it's probably Beck and Lem, but we should be prepared just in case. So she's
I look
ready.
around for a hiding spot.
Okay, everyone roll stealth that want to.
I rolled a total of 20.
Okay. Are you...
Oh man, I rolled a 3.
Laura, you're just like, whatever. It's probably Beck and Jal. Or not Beck and Jal.
Beck, is that
Beck and
you?
Yorke, are you calling out for your things? For your balls?
Yeah, I'll just say, had any company?
Yep. So 2 of them go off.
Okay.
And,
But,
yeah.
and you hear Lem go, what the hell?
that's what I was about to say. I was like, these freaking balls. It's just us, you guys.
I didn't program them into the balls. Dang it.
Oh, crap. That's incorrect of me. I'm sorry.
Oh, I did? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Okay, we're
Nope.
good.
So you guys hear, nope.
Either way, Lem and I are thrown off by them.
Actually, no. You hear a nope, yep.
Uh-oh.
Oh, jeez.
So you hear a no. You hear the nope in the direction of where. Then you heard the reaction of Lem and Beck, and then you hear yep in the opposite direction.
Crap.
I suggest
And
prepare ourselves.
as you guys come in, or as you guys are prepping, you see a badger.
A what?
A badger.
Oh.
just roll into camp.
It's a regular.
Badgers.
Martha goes
badger.
mushroom.
Mushroom.
Oh wait, and there's a snake now too.
Snake.
And there's a reference for you. Like Martha's still like, she looks at all of you and she's like putting hands out like, hey, stay in place. And the badger like wanders around and sniffs out a few things, and Martha kind of does like, and it scurries off. And you guys are now reunited in camp.
Yay. So
Beck, the lowdown.
yeah, there's at least one big entrance that is guarded easily with 2 arrow slits. There's arrow slits all around the castle on 4 or 5 towers. Around the north side of the castle, though, there's essentially what looks like a big broken wall with a canvas over it. That seems to be an opening straight into the building. We passed by, I think Lem said they were barracks at the northwest side of the castle. So that's probably a place that we would want to avoid. But yeah, so there seemed like there was an easy opening in the back.
And Lem pipes in and she goes, there's going to be a couple barracks. There's one for, depending on where you are on the food chain. And
Okay.
she's like, I've never had to stay in the barracks because I wasn't part of the castle squadron or crew or whatever. My main familiarity with this castle is going in through the front and either staying there and waiting for orders, or the one time I've been in the back to speak with the king.
Now, when you say food chain, is that a figure of speech?
Well, it depends. There's various goblins and hobgoblins and bugbears and whatnot that have no problem eating the flesh of the same species. She kind of wrinkles her nose up at that. She goes, one of the other many ways that I'm separate from my kin. She says that word with such disdain.
Well, I'm actually glad to hear that, because the more of them they eat, the less we have to deal with.
He's right. I mean, I know it's rough, but...
So, what would you guys like to do? We can try to go in and sneak in through the front, or through that secret passage, and see what we can do. We didn't see any patrols, so that's a good sign, actually, because that means that the patrol is probably elsewhere. I'm not entirely sure where that passageway took us, or where that passageway we saw on the northern end, where that would lead.
Mm-hmm.
But it's possible once I get to a place that's familiar, I could lead us somewhere.
Well, let's sleep on it. We got plenty of time to think it over during our various watches, and we're not going to be advancing on the castle till the morning anyway.
Makes sense to me.
Martha goes, sounds good to me. And so you guys settle into your positions and you eat your dinner, and that is where we will end this particular session.
All right.
So thank you for tuning in to Awful Good. You can find us at awfulgoodcrew.com. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at awfulgood. And like and subscribe. You can find the podcast on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasting funness. So let's Mary, where can we find you?
I am on Instagram at the Mary Russell.
And I'm Rob, and if you search your heart, you'll find me there.
I love all of your things, Rob. They're the best things.
Thanks, Jackson.
I too have things. You can find me at chocolatebook.net, where every weekday I eat chocolate, read the Bible, and blog about it.
And you can find me at The Underfold. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I post webcomics that are silly and ridiculous.
And I'm Lynn Andrews. You can find me at Six Color Stories on, I forgot the social media, at Twitter and Instagram. Occasionally I post art stuff or, whatever. So you can check things out if you want. And so thank you very much, guys, and happy gaming.